Hey guys, this is Isa bringing you Game 5 of SoulWind vs Marcoasd. It's 2-2. This is the final game. So this is for the Pokémon Perfect finals. Let's get right into the battle. We have Starmie versus Starmie in the lead matchup. Both switch out, and SoulWind comes out ahead using the ult the Zombie Kid. He goes to Executor, whereas Marcoasd goes to Chansey. Chansey has to switch out. In comes Starmie, taking the sleep. Stays in, gets hit with a Psychic. That's kind of risky, but it also scouts for Mega Drain, so that's not too shabby. Chansey comes in for... I don't agree with that. Executor comes in on the same turn, so Marcoasd getting slightly lucky there. And Starmie is now sleeping on both sides of the field. Let's see how Marco decides to capitalize from here. I think going to Snorlax, for example, would be a good move. I think that SoulWind is not gonna stay in. No, he does not. Executor comes in. Lapras, good prediction there. So let's see if Blizzard is gonna be the move that Marcoasd decides to go with. He could do that. Okay, Starmie comes in. Critical hit Lapras, Blizzard. 43% on a sleeping Pokemon. I mean, it's sleeping, and most of the time sleeping Pokemon aren't waking up either way, so it's not too big of a deal. Blizzard on Chansey, 19%, not that rough. 9% Thunderbolt, nothing to talk about either. This is Curious Switch. Ice Beam onto the Starmie and enter the Snorlax Ditto. I think that was a... I think both sides did a very good switch there. Body Slam's trading. No paralysis either side just yet. Body Slam, and Marcoasd gets slightly luckier with Body Slam rolls, and that, yeah, it forces SoulWind to go into Body Slam instead of Hyper Beam. He gets a paralysis, and if Snorlax decides to stay in, which I believe he should, yeah, it's gonna end up being a one-for-one trade, with the only advantage Marco getting out of it is deciding what he wants to send in on the Tauros, which on the other hand is quite significant. So Lapras comes in. I think that's his best call as well. Chansey. Now that both sides have their Snorlaxes removed, both sides will have some issues with with Chansey, and they willingly enter the terrible Chansey Ditto. First Ice Beam to freeze wins. I believe that Marcoasd is using Softball too early. There's no threat on the opposing side. He seems to have a plan though. In comes Lapras. And back to Chansey. Is this scouting? Well, he gets hit by Thunderbolt instead of the Thunderwave I believe that he was looking for. Critical hit Ice Beam still does zilch damage on the big scheme of things. Ice Beam back and forth, back and forth. I don't know what SoulWind's last Pokemon is. Oh god. Pardon? And while I was away, we had a freeze. So Marcoasd gets the lucky freeze on the Zombie Kid. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. I don't know what the last Pokemon is for SoulWind, and if he has any kind of luck, it's a physical Pokemon. But even if it was, nothing like switching in on Bolt Beam that could also threaten the Chansey, apart from maybe Alakazam, but I highly doubt that would be an Alakazam. I think Alakazam has yet to show its face in this set. Okay, Executor Stun Spore. Okay, I'm not sure if Marco tried to catch an explosion or not, but Stun Spore connects, Psychic gets the Specs drop. And now that SoulWind has revealed a lack of Mega Drain, Starmie has decent chances of waking up here. Psychic doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It deals sub 20%. Tauros comes in, capitalizing on the sleeping Starmie. I agree with that. Body Slam critical hit. I agree with getting critical hits. So we're at a essentially 4-4 situation. Lapras. Yeah, Tauros is well, usually Taurus would be switching out of here into a Chansey or a Starmie, but the Starmie is sleeping and the Chansey is frozen. Okay, that doesn't stop him. So, Frozen Chansey skillfully dodges the opposing Blizzard. Very nicely played. And I don't agree with Marcoasd using more body slams, more blizzards than necessary. And yeah, using body slam is much more solid choice. Okay, now we're at a real 4-4 situation. Executor versus Lapras. Wow, SoulWind must be desperate. I don't know why Marcoasd switches out. That's so Lapras lives a boom. I really disagree. He did not have to. Yeah, and blowing up preemptively like that on a full HP Executor, that was not a brilliant move. I disagree with that choice. Taurus can come in here and use Body Slam, but I don't know. And the last Pokemon is a physical. It's a Golem, but wow, Golem doesn't like facing Ice Beam from Chansey or Blizzard from Lapras. So I think this Golem is gonna blow up fairly soon. We'll see what happens. Explosion, yeah, it blows up immediately on the Lapras, 25% remaining. And that's barely enough for a Body Slam to KO. It's unreliable. It's 50%. It's a 50-50 if Body Slam KOs. However, that's of course without factoring in the chance for a critical hit. I think that SoulWind has no other choice than to send in his Tauros here. Executor wouldn't really fancy dying to a Blizzard, and Starmie's at 45%. Marcoasd probably runs Thunderbolt, which would be a 50-50 KO, and it's not sure if it wakes up either way. So yeah, I think Tauros is just the way to go here. Meanwhile, we have some, I assume, entertaining conversation in Italian. Porco Dio, porca Madonna. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna speed this up a little for you guys. And there we are. Taurus comes in. And, Hyper Beam wouldn't be too nice. Oh well, it's used either way. But if a switch were to happen, that could have been soaked by either Chansey or the opposing Tauros, followed by paralysis. And yeah, despite being 2-3, I think that this is Marcoasd's game to lose. Ice Beam spam. Thunder Wave and Ice Beam in combination is lethal here. Oh wow, counter. Counter was it was a good bluff, or not a bluff, but it was a good try. If Body Slam would have been thrown, that would have been game over from that moment. However, Sleeping Starmie, if it wakes up here, that's, well, I don't think it wakes up here. Taurus should just go for Hyper Beam and finish off Starmie. Taurus cannot really switch in. Executor dies from Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam is very safe here. So I believe that Hyper Beam should be used. That would leave us, yeah, it's done. And that would leave us with a Tauros Ditto. And yeah, this is just gonna be Body Slam, Body Slam, Body Slam, Body Slam. But yeah, if Marcoasd wins the Tauros Ditto without getting paralyzed, that's not good enough for him. So he has to, yeah, he remains unparalyzed. That was very important. And now the Hyper Beam will decide it all. And yeah, if Marcoasd connects with his Hyper Beam, it's game over. If SoulWind, however, connects with his, we're entering a situation where it's not guaranteed that he will win, but it's very, very, very likely. Well, actually not so likely. But if pretend for a moment that Tauros uses Body Slam on Chansey, who proceeds to counter it. Executor comes in and uses Sleep Powder. If Sleep Powder misses, Chansey wins in an instant. If it connects, though, it has to kill Chansey before it wakes up, or if it wakes up, it has to go for another sleep. So it's likely, but far from guaranteed. It's at least 25% for Marcoasd to win the game, even if SoulWind wins this. So we're just gonna wait for it and see who's gonna be the luckier one. And as a nice reflection, I think that Marcoasd has used he has used the same team in all 5 battles, except using a Gengar lead instead of Starmie lead, I think, in the first 2 games. So he has obviously been successful, but I think that SoulWind could have used this to his advantage. Wow, that's a that's a cute play, and I didn't really consider it either, but it was very cute. Sending in Chansey on a Hyper Beam to counter. That's amazing. I really like that play. It was obviously not risk-free, but wow. Yeah, that was a very cute play, and it completely bypasses the speed tie situation and really pushed Marcoasd's advantage. That SoulWind was absolutely forced to use Hyper Beam, or he would lose to the Tauros, and Marcoasd nicely predicted that and read the situation. Since he would win even without the Chansey alive, I consider that an essentially risk-free switch, and it was absolutely the perfect play. Yeah, that was great. And Sleep Powder misses, Ice Beam connects and kills, blah blah, it doesn't matter, because that Exeggutor didn't have any way of healing up and preventing the one-hit KO from Body Slam. So this means that Marcoasd is gonna win this set 3-2. Good set, decent amount of hacks in some games, but very enjoyable games all around. Shoutouts to Marcoasd for sending me these replays. Thanks for watching. This is Isa, signing out.